This is part of my application for the head of product role, and I'm sure this is kind of unconventional, but I'm doing this anyways because this is really important information to include. And even if I don't get this role, this is like somebody needs to hear this, and I know this video will be watched by someone on the team. So my responses that I included in the prompt were really like baselines, and a lot of it was written prior to speaking to some of the team. So like, obviously, if you have eyes, you know, like, hey, we need Spanish language translation. But there's three or four different things I want to touch on that are really, really important to whoever is watching this video know. One, you guys have a compliance issue. You have multiple compliance issues. There's no two-factor authentication. There's no data security in what you've built. I'm really surprised that none of that is being built into the product because you guys can easily get hacked. The second is there doesn't seem to be a net promoter score or any kind of similar, knowledge base of how you guys are doing as a product. I understand why that would be based on your life cycle, but that's really important to have, and that's really important to setting the baseline of how are you doing as a product. And I think some of that is just the shift in thinking from like, we're Planned Parenthood versus we're Planned Parenthood Direct and what that means, and thinking of it as like products and services. Net promoter score is like the end all be all for anyone in product to know what is that baseline and what is the goal you're trying to move to. The third thing is that, and again, I'm doing like really rough analysis of this. I'm pretty positive you guys don't have Mixpanel or any other product analytics software that's being used, like SaaS platform. That's really important to understand. One, where in the product are you guys doing well? Where are you not? Also like geo information and understanding how does this fit into our marketing mix of what we need to do. And you don't have to use Mixpanel. Mixpanel is a common one. There's a lot of platforms out there, but this is like a must for an organization like Planned Parenthood Direct. And then the fourth thing is related to payment systems. One, payment systems, you run into a lot of HIPAA compliance issues, and it's kind of its own thing. I'll just leave it at that. But specific to the clientele of Planned Parenthood, speaking from personal experience, you need to have Klarna or another API integrated, because anything that can put folks on a subscription, I think Curly's one of them, a subscription model, because the breakdown for, I saw that there was like, okay, you can get monthly birth control for $25, or you can be on a package that's like $300. Well, a lot of people don't have $300 sitting around. A lot of people might not even have $25 sitting around, in advance. But if you were able to break that down to like $5, similar to like how Klarna does it, imagine like $5 is very doable for most people, especially if it's week to week, or your pay is coming in weekly, or you're a gig worker or things like this. But when it's like a bulk payment, it's really tough to get them psychologically, as well as being able to even afford that and knowing it is affordable. And of course, we all know like this is way more affordable than anything that's out on the market. But those were 4 things I really wanted to touch on that I didn't think I was going to be able to explain in my exercise talking about Spanish speaking accessibility. But very, very important. And thank you for listening to this.